In this video, I'm going to tell you why it's not really important that you get good. So I was scrolling through some sort of social media something recently. Might have been Twitter, might have been Facebook, I don't remember. And there was this inspirational quote, kind of little paragraph. And I don't know why it caught my eye. Well, it was attributed to Kurt Vonnegut, and I like Vonnegut's stuff, and I read it, and I'm like, I don't think Vonnegut said that. That doesn't sound like him. So I did a little bit of research. Turns out a lot of people have attributed that, but it looks as very much like it was actually a different quote that was somebody posted on Tumblr, and then someone replied to it with this quote, and then people are just like, oh yeah, Kurt Vonnegut said that, but it doesn't. Anyway, so this person was 15 in the quote, and they spent a month working on an archaeological dig during the summer for school, and they were eating lunch one day, and there was a teacher or somebody who else was there, not necessarily a teacher, but somebody, an adult, asking a kid questions about, well, what do you like to, what subjects do you like in school? What do you like to do after school? Stuff like that. And the person said, well, I don't do any sports. I do theater, I'm in choir, I play the violin and piano, and I used to take art classes. This is a 15-year-old, allegedly 15-year-old Kurt Vonnegut. So, anyway. And then the older person said, wow, that's amazing. And then the kid says, well, don't worry, I'm not good at any of them. Which, we've all said that kind of stuff, certainly, haven't we? About our own selves. And allegedly, this older person says, as a response to that, I don't think being good at things is the point of doing them. And that sentence is what struck me about this sort of mamby-pamby kind of inspirational quote that for some reason was attributed to Mr. Vonnegut. And I think it's really important. I think that I don't think being good at things is the point of doing them is something that should be, I don't know, probably on a t-shirt. Let's talk about that. Not necessarily about putting on a t-shirt, but about the quote that the being good at things is not the point of doing them. I think that that's something that, especially within our hobby, is something that a lot of folks, especially newer folks, maybe don't understand. Here's another little quick story. I had to fix my parents' shower a number of years ago. I'm not a plumber, so what did I do? Well, of course, I went onto YouTube. That's where you go when you need to fix a shower or whatever. And so I dug around on YouTube until I found a faucet that looked roughly the same as theirs, and then I watched the video, and I took it apart, and then I was able to put a new washer in there, blah, blah, blah. Done. Here's the thing. There are no videos out there about how to appreciate your shower, which is working perfectly fine. There are videos out there about how to fix things. So when you are looking for how to fix something, you go to YouTube and you find videos about how to fix it, but there's nothing, or very little, it seems, like out there about how to just appreciate your well-working shower. How does this all tie together? Well, when you look at our hobby online, blogs, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all these different things, you find videos, I make them myself, that are trying to help fix a problem. Okay? We make the videos that we make because people are looking on YouTube and other places to fix the problem. I want to get better at painting. I want to get better at my hobby. So you see these videos about this is how you do this is how you do this better, this is how this is, don't do it this way, that kind of stuff. But that's all you see when you look at this thing. So as a new person, all the content that comes at your face is about how you need to get better, how you do this to get better. But you don't have to get better if you don't want to. Now, again, like I said, there's not really a lot of videos out there about how to not get better, but although maybe this one is going to be one of the first. Let's see how that works out. The thing is that doing something and enjoying it in a hobby is, in many people's opinion, the goal. Now, if you love a hobby and your goal is to get better at it, I've got friends who got into painting because they wanted to get better at it, and that's their goal. Well, then they're going to obviously watch a lot of these videos that we all put out about how to get better at it, and then they're going to practice, and they're going to make their craft, expand, and then this and that, and maybe win an award, or maybe just have something that they're really happy with that they're able to put on a shelf and be like, I painted that. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with enjoying sitting down at your hobby place, wherever it might be, putting on some headphones, listening to some audiobooks or some podcasts, or you got Netflix on in the background, or whatever it is you do, some music, and just painting at the level at which you paint and just having a good time with it. I do it all the time. I get better to some degree over time, and most people do. If you want to really get better, then you watch a bunch of videos and you practice a bunch and you actually practice it getting better and you move towards that and you do things that you're not necessarily comfortable with. I'm not sure about wet blending. Well, you make yourself wet blend until you get good at it, and then you start to be able to go towards that. But you don't have to if you don't want to. If you just enjoy the hobby because it's not work, it's not cleaning the house, it's not mowing the lawn and all those things, you just enjoy sitting down and having a good time, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that if you just come into the industry as a new person, that's not necessarily what you see. Hobbies are not something you do to win them, generally. Hobbies are not something you do to make money with. You may find that you can eventually take a hobby and turn it into something that you're very good at, and that's fine. Or you may find something that you can use to make money with. Very frequently, people will say, as soon as you turn your hobby into a job, it's no longer something you enjoy, it's no longer your hobby, it's a job, and you have to think about it very differently. And that's very true, certainly. Obviously happens with things like YouTube and other types of content creation. But what's really enjoyable to me about sitting down and painting and working on the models that I enjoy is that it is me time, it is a focused sort of situation, and when I get done, I'm pretty happy with the models. If you sit down and paint and you hate what's coming out of them, then you should probably try to take a look at trying to figure out ways to get better at it. Another thing you can do is to just keep painting, because you will learn things as you go along. Even if you don't ever watch a YouTube, you completely are YouTube free, or you're not looking at the internet at all, and you just paint things, eventually you're going to learn stuff. It's going to take longer, I'm not going to lie, but if you're trying to learn things, looking on the internet is probably a good place to start. But if you are pretty happy with your output, this is nice tabletop stuff and I'm glad to look at it when I sit down and play on the table, then there's no reason necessarily for you to concern yourself about, I have to get better at it though, because that's the way that the hobby works. That's not the way the hobby works. I'm going to be turning 50 years old this upcoming weekend, and in this amount of time, I have learned some things, and I've learned that when you can find a thing that you enjoy, whatever it might be, whatever kind of hobby or activity it is, maybe you love to golf, you fish, I'm not saying you like to fish, you're not are a fish, that would be weird. But, or you maybe paint miniatures, or you play video games, whatever it is, you don't have to win that. You don't even have to be good at it. You just have to enjoy doing it, and that's kind of the whole point.